Yes. Welcome to another episode of the LANCESCURV show. And I want to tell you, you have those days where you feel like you're broke, and you have those days that you know that you're broke, and you have those days that you know that you're broke, and you look down and you see a $100 bill and you lunge for it like your life depended on it. Today is one of those days. I didn't feel broke, but my spirit was tested. And before we bring on our guest, I just want to say this. Mrs. SCURV and I were coming back from making several rounds before we came in for the evening. And she shared with me a video of a doctor from down in the Miami area who came home to load up his vehicle with medical equipment and stuff that he can go down and help the homeless. He's a young black man, nice house and everything. The cop came back that was following him up and down the block and put him in cuffs, got in his face with no mask and just grilled him. Just a little while ago, I'm going to tell you, it brought me to tears. Tears coming down my face because of my own personal experiences. Not out of weakness, but it's just like, how much can you handle? How long is it going to take for us to understand that they are not going to change and how our world doesn't depend on them? And we need to get rid of these people around from us and build up our own world and love on each other. When are we going to stop it? So I was feeling some kind of way. So I came inside and I received a text from this powerful sister, Queen Nefertiti. And what she wrote lifted my spirits beyond measure. And so I said, listen, would you like to come on the show? And she said, sure. I said, would you like to come on the show soon? And she said, sure. I said, how about tonight? She said, sure. I said, how about right now? She said, sure. And we spoke briefly, but she was that $100 bill that I needed today that lifted my spirits when I thought I was broke. And I want to say that the universe works in mysterious ways, and it uplifted me and made me feel so good when she began to share her history in the struggle. Now, I'm going to shut up right now and allow her to speak, but I just want to say, in the brief time we talked, in the few moments that we shared, Queen Nefertiti, I love you and you are precious. And I'm 100% guaranteed that all who hear your voice and your experiences are going to say the same thing and so much more. Welcome to the show, my sister. Please talk to me.
Thank you so much, Brother Lance. I admire your show. I believe you speak truth and honesty to the people, and you also have the heart for the people. Because let me tell you, it's a lot of us fakers out here that really don't care. Matter of fact, we're just agents, and I learned that to be true. Agent for this government that's in control. And I always say, you work the job, don't let the job work you. Meaning, don't.
I'm just gonna say, not to interrupt you, I'm gonna let you flow because you have a lot to share and the way I know you're gonna express it. So I got a little background noise. I'm sitting right here, but okay, what you have to share doesn't need to be interrupted at all. Take your time and get it all out. The floor is yours.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm going to start by my background and my experience working in social services and actually government work. And I want to go back to what I just stated. Work your job. Don't let your job work you. When you see there's injustice, and I am talking to police officers, I'm talking to parole officers, I'm talking to state representatives, people that I have been around, and I know you, especially so-called quote minority people, with only special interest groups and what have you, as long as it's not touching your group, you're fine. We have the tendency to think that you're protected somehow, even when you're working for the system, and you're not. You're not. So stop turning a blind eye to the truth and start to work with your people and your community, because at the end of the day, a lot of this is happening. I don't like to point fingers, but it is happening because we have these leaders in place that don't, excuse my expression, a damn. You don't give a damn unless it's attacking your family. For example, I felt that Booker and from New York, when the senator got involved, well, now he's a congressman, I believe now, he got involved after he had a run-in with police. To me, that's a little bit too late. Why do Black officials only get enraged and want to do something when police officers mistake you as a regular Black person, and then you want to do something about it? That's not good enough. And then that doesn't last. You go back on about your daily duties. So, but anyways, I want to just stay on course here. So, my background, I've worked in social service and government positions. I worked as MFT, and believe it or not, I almost became an ordained minister, which I was so glad that I didn't, because I saw the hypocrisy. So that's why I did not. I will say I was born in 1959, and I was born in Wisconsin. I lived there most of my life. I lived a few years in Chicago because I was an entertainer, child entertainer back then. And Chicago was one of the more pronounced cities if you wanted to make it, besides New York, of course. And my parents, my mom born in Atlanta, my dad in New Orleans, and I do have a strong line of Jamaican kin and my grandfather side of the family. So I have some rich blood that's coursed through my veins. And so I would like to address the social control and religion, because these are the fundamental constructs that I believe have a grip on our folks. It's a control, and it's targeted for specific groups. Primarily, we all should know by now, non-white groups, but in particularly Black people. And then when you think about it, let's ask ourselves, why? Why? We know about the terrible history that our folks went through, our descendants, but why? Well, I'm doing scholarly work, and it's amazing the history that's out there. But I heard a key phrase: those who can read won't read, right? And those that don't read, they don't have to worry about us, right? So when you ask yourself, why do this trend of violence rear its ugly head over and over again. I'm looking at the YouTube station. That's one of my things I like to do, to collect data around the world to see what's actually going on when it comes to our people, and particularly. And I see that our brother, Floyd, on the ground with a knee in the back of his neck, begging and pleading for his life. And that tore me up. That tore me up. It made me feel like I needed M16 and I need to go out there and start target practicing. But rationale kicks in to say, how far is that going to get you? Right? And my children will be motherless and my grandchildren will be grandmotherless. So, speaking in real time, why did that happen to our brother? Now, I heard religious people say everything happens for a reason. True that. Sometimes it does. But I'm going to say I'm not anti-religion, but I don't practice it anymore because there's a lot of holes in it. So, and then I have to sit back and now I'm looking at a social construct here. Why we continue to believe in a source coming from your enemy that we know for a fact the book has been published many times before. But I think the one that really stands out to me, as a little girl, I always observed people. And so there's no wonder why I end up in the science. But I used to observe people. And I had these questions formulating in my head. It blew my mind. It's like, why are older people, I'm watching these older Black people, mind you, bowing their heads, and they're terrified of white people. They're not looking in their eyes, or, they're just so humble. And I'm thinking in my head, and I'm like, well, I already made up my mind. I'm not calling you sir. First, number one, you're not my daddy. And I took a trip to Mississippi. And I had to be maybe about 7 or 8 years old. And I observed this, we went in the store, and this white guy called an older man, older than him, by the way, boy. I look around and I was stunned. I was like, boy, he called him boy. He's saying, sir, sir, sir. I was like, oh, heck no. Something ain't right with this picture. So anyways, I directly spoke to the man. I told him what I wanted out of the store. He said, excuse me. I'm sorry. I emulate people a lot. But anyway, he said, excuse me. Did your parents teach you how to talk? Well, okay, there I go again. But anyways, that's how he was speaking. So maybe I have a little Tourette's going on here. But nonetheless, I said, yes. He said, you say sir. And I looked at him up and down, and I told him, no, I refuse to call you sir. You're not my daddy. I call you Mr. And that's about polite I was going to get. So the man told him, get that gal out of my store right now, and you need to discipline her. So I turned around to him. I said, I'm a lady. You don't call me gal, because I was raised to be called a gal was a put down or interior of endearment from women, but definitely a man don't call you gal unless you referring to you as a cow. So anyways, the older gentleman grabbed me by the hand and he said, you cannot talk to these people like that. you can get in a lot of trouble. So I didn't understand that age, but as I was returning home on a bus with other entertainers, because that's why we were in Mississippi in the first place. I was entertaining, like I stated earlier. A group of white guys tried to run us off the road, but because we were from a city, a lot of the brothers were packing, so they were shooting and everything. So that was an eye opener at a very young age that this thing was real. That these people do not like us. And someone asked me today, why do they hate us? Going back again. Why? Well, when you're looking at our history, it's fascinating. We ruled this world. We ruled this world for over 2,000 years. 2,000 years. Way before the white man came on board, before we encountered these people. And I'm not trying to be real raw, because I can get really raw. So I'm trying to be polite and be a lady, as my sons asked me to do. But I'm still going to speak my mind. So when they came on the scene, they came, well, I'm going to back it up, because as history would have it, our people felt bad for them because they're in the caves and they were dirty and nasty, not walking upright either. So we cleaned them up. We shared our food. But what happened after that? They started lusting after what belonged to us. So when you think of all that, you're coming out of the caves, it's cold, you barely have anything. You like a sub animal. You know, I'm not trying to be mean or racist. It has nothing to do with that. This is textbook. This is knowledge. So, and that's where I got it from, studying it. So, looking at us, feasting on the world, having miracle hands, you know, and we were spiritual, not a religious. What religion? You know, no, we were not. We could command stuff from the universe. The stuff that now we are being made ashamed of. I come from root people. A lot of us do. But we put those practices aside because the church said it was demonology. Okay? Everyone used to come to me for psychic reading. But I stopped because I became a quote Christian, which in my opinion, I got the okie doke too from the pressure around me from our people who are good Christians. But going back to why they hate us, we are creators. If it wasn't for us, our ancestors, and even us today, America would not be anything, and they know it. So when people say, "Oh, they're trying to kill us off," no, they're not. I mean, let's back that up a little bit, because that's like saying, if I live in the jungle and there's several packs of lions, tigers, everything, and I have big elephants protecting my lair, why would I wouldn't let them overpopulate, so because they'd be stumping and tearing up my place. But I'm gonna have enough of them to reinforce and protect me. Okay, so you gotta look at it this way. When you look at old movies, when you look at our social media, just look around, open your eyes, and you see, what are the roles of most Black people? You are a protector. We're watchers. We do the bidding. So no, they're not trying to eliminate all of us, but enough of us to keep us in rank of control. So let's go there first, okay? Because I was listening to the ambassador. Her name is Arikana, and she has made a statement, in regards, for honoring Brother Floyd. And she stated that there are good people, white people, trying to help. But I question which one? Because going back to social constructs, we have to look at how this whole thing plays out. When we think about the riots, after Martin Luther King was assassinated, Malcolm X, 92. This is a repeat pattern, okay? So that's one thing you learn in behavioral science, patterns. And how do we break those patterns? Well, usually, as a therapist, you'll sit down and work out a case plan and start identifying those patterns of behavior. And then you look at triggers. And what you want to do, eliminate the triggers. So when I look at our condition today, it does break my heart, because I work very hard especially with young people, because the minds that they have destroyed in the earlier years, pre and adolescent school years, our children are very frustrated and very misinformed, as most of their parents. And I would say, I'm not gonna make excuse for parents, because I look at like this. If you want something, you usually go and get it, right? So if you really want to know and you really want to fix a problem or whatever, you got a leak or whatever, you go get the tools you need. So I don't make excuses and allowance for people. Matter of fact, I used to always was told that I'm a rebel rouser, I'm a deep roller, and I just keep it 100. And there's just not too much room for me to flip and flop or deal with anybody that flip and flop. I call it as a seer. So part of the problem is, which is very annoying, is baby boomers who refuse. These are your children, your bloodline. This is what you're leaving behind. And for us to sit back, like back in the days, and allow these people to come into your home and grab your child out and harm that child that came from your body. No, I'd rather be dead fighting for what is mine. And trust me, anybody that knows me know, every word I say. And I have 4 sons. And they tell me now, Mom, you are older now. We don't need you. But I tell them, you back the hell up. You never tell me when my job is done. So when it comes to these social constructs that I see perpetuated over and over again, we have to stop and think. What are we going to do when the smoke clears? What are we going to do? I heard a young lady yesterday who was saying, we know what to do, and we sure in the hell do know what to do. I ain't going to tell you what to do, because we know ears and everything's listening, but we know how to be a village. There was a village when I was growing up. And if anybody did anything to you, it got all the way around. I mean, I'm talking about several blocks. And if you're a perpetrator, you ain't staying in that neighborhood. So we need that back. One of the things that I do on average is blog. I'll post a lot to relatives, friends, and whoever that's on there that want to get some understanding, because people are scared. People are scared. But I had a near-death experience, and I changed me a lot. So it's like, and I know I live after this, but you won't know that until hopefully you don't experience that until it's your time. But I can honestly tell you, the energy is neither stored or wasted. So, however, you want to make a stand in this life. You don't want to do what they teach you in Sunday school, that there's some big old kingdom and Jesus is going to come down and save us and all that BS. Please, please stop it. Stop it. At the end of the day, you're intelligent, ask the question. Like Brother Lance, previous guest, brother, I don't want to say his name because I might pronounce it wrong, but my Jamaican brother, I'll just say that. He's spot on. So we want to have a plan. We want to change the narrative. We want to change this social construct, by the way, that isn't ours. It was created by them. We want to identify the triggers. So I had suggested to some other leaders that, okay, we have a problem with police officers stopping, hurting our children and things of that nature. And I'll give you an example of what I did. I live in California now. And for the most part, it's not, it's a weird place to live. But anyways, I'm still here. But I had an incident when I moved. I got a separation from my ex and had moved to a more predominantly white area. But like I said, California, it's not that many of us here in the area that I live in, unless you go to certain communities, like San Bernardino, California, but that's really raunchy. And then LA, which I personally don't like LA because I'm originally from Wisconsin and I like it more suburban, not congested. So LA to me is too much going on. However, my son was coming home from the gym and he was stopped by the police. And he came to the house. He was very upset. And he said the police stopped him, make him sit on the curb. And he was embarrassed. And that's all he had to say to me. Because as a sociologist, you're not going to mess with my son's head. I teach them they're independent, they're opinionated, and you a man. And you don't let no man kowtow you down like that. Okay? So I went immediately contact the police, the sergeant. I didn't talk to the freaking police officer. And I addressed the sergeant and went off on him and told him that one of his officers, I wanted to call him excuse my French, punk ass, but I didn't. I said, touch my son. So he looked in and he said, oh, well, somebody fitting his description, light-skinned or brown-skinned, he could have been black, African, or Mexican, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, what the heck? First of all, what the heck got to do with anything? He's a minor. And legally, you don't put your hands on minors without the parents present. I said, so I let him know. If you touch him again, I'll have some civil rights leaders down here, and you'll wish you never laid eyes on me, because you can take the girl I'll tease, but you can't take it out the east out the girl. I don't play that kind of nonsense. Don't touch my children. There's gonna be problems. Anyways, to make a long story short, they got used to me in the area. They see me coming, or a cop run up behind my car to run my place. They take off. They better, because I let them know I'm a black woman with an education and a bad attitude. If you mess with me on the wrong day, and I beg you to pull it out, do it. You know. So that's my approach. That's who I am. And I felt at that point something needed to be done, because if you're doing that to my son and he's a clean cut kid in his jersey, minding his own business, and you take him and you put him on let me tell you, if I had been there, yeah, I would have been arrested. But nonetheless, I'm gonna bring it down a notch or two. To change it, from my point of view, is I had to get involved. So I did start working in institutions and looking at the situation, working with gang members. I worked in the prison, and I worked with the homeless. I did everything you can name so I can reach our people, to help them, give them that leg up. But I realized the corruption. Man, the corruption in the system. Matter of fact, the last place I worked was for one of the counties out here, Riverside County. And needless to say, I got in a lot of trouble, because, for one, if I see something, I am going to report it. I'm going to say something. Nobody likes a rat, though. But that's their opinion, and I could care less. I don't care about what other people say. And I wasn't trying to hook up and be friends. I don't do none of that. I have no need for it. And I made that very clear. So immediately what they do is they try to get you out as quickly as possible, because I didn't know that once you hold position, they can't fire you. And I thought, geez, right now I'm out. I've been out for an injury that I got on the job, but that's another story. But it gets dirty. Trust me, dirty. But while I was working in those areas, I started talking to the people. And believe it or not, California is not quite like if you live in the South, New York area, or, anywhere back there, anywhere back east. The people out here is a little bit more docile, and it's weird. Even though you got the gang members and stuff who knows what's going down, it's that they've been so programmed. I don't want to say it's a lost cause, but it's very frustrating. And I'll tell you why, because it has to do with the leadership. Yeah, and I'll give you an example of that. When I was working for, quote, the Black Chambers, there was a brother who didn't know anything about contracts or what have you. He was the CEO. So I come along and I get his first grant. I write the grant, we get it, $3.1 million, and it's for the Riverside County to work with Black youth, American African youth, I'll say it that way. And to make a long story short, before we can actually get the check, he already went and bought a brand new truck, and the wife buying her Gucci bags and whatever she wanted. And he started messing with the budget, messing with my budget. Now, see, when I do work, it's my work. And I don't like anybody's dirty, sticky fingers messing with it. And so he messed up when he did that. He wanted me to play along and bring in this money for him and his partners and size on the program that we put in the RFO, the contract, what we were going to do, our services. So, like, for example, I'll give you an example. For the meals, he wanted to go to the 99-cent store. I'm sorry, I had to laugh at that one. And get food from there. And I don't know about you, back there now, what have you. But here, the 99-cent store, that's secondhand food and processed food and food that's been grown in universities now. Yeah. So he wanted me to give this to these children. Really, really. So then since I didn't go along with it, he started verbally assaulting me, him and the people on the board, which is all his friends, whatever. I didn't say anything because, trust me, I could be like my mother. I always refer myself to my mother's child because if anybody knew my mother, we used to call her the Black Tornado because, trust me, everybody was afraid of her. Even back in her day, white people didn't mess with her. You understand? So I got a lot of her blood. Well, to make a long story short, I reported it. I refused to sign the check or cash the check. And I pulled out the deal and I told him, because you're not going to stay in my name, number one. And I let him know what they were doing. And I already resigned and everything. He didn't even know it. He gets the letter the day after he wanted to talk to me and try to rational. It was too late. When I see that you're a rat, you're a dog, you exploit your own people, we're done. We're finished. So I walked away from that deal, and I was actually contacted by him a couple of years ago, and I told him I do not deal with anyone that exploits their own people. So lose my information totally. So that was the end of that. But I'm putting that out there. It's because maybe I was naive, but there's people who look like us, but they ain't. Okay? They ain't. They're like a Oreo, okay? Or a coconut, but they ain't you. They have no real love and spirit for their own people. And any chance they get to exploit you for the enemy and themselves, they will do it. So when we're looking at construct, it's going to be a gray area. It's going to be a very, very gray area. Because I have had Black people who come with an issue. You stand up, they fall back. And then who's hanging by the thread? Alone. So we have to look at that honestly and vet the people who say they want to be a part of the solution. Because everybody that's like right now in this protest, everybody there is not there for the same reason. They are there to help further along Trump's agenda. Now, I got a chance to see these models as a young girl because I had an aunt who was part of a group called RNA, and she went by Tamu, and which they were part of the Pan-African movement. And so they were partnered with the Black Panthers, right? Geronimo Pratt, Angela Davis, and I was brought into it as a young age because my aunt had gotten accosted in Africa with her husband and her group. So my sister and I started singing and dancing and to raise that money to get them out. And we did. So I didn't have much of a childhood because of that. but I got a sense of what's going on, and there's a peace stone. There's a lot of stuff going on back in the day. The Mooney movement, when they actually bombed downtown area because they were living in hotels. I mean, yeah, I was around and exposed to all that. So that's why I'm looking at this protest going on, and you got these outsiders. I mean, they got footage, and nobody's talking about it. By the way, officers with bricks in the back of their trucks, and officers knocking out window, and one was caught on video. But they're not putting a face on the problem here, and they're still trying to make it like it's really black people are getting out of control. However, we're not blind. We can see all the other different groups of people out there who's knocking out windows, who's looting and what have you. And why are they doing all that? One may ask. Well, we're just going to cut through the chase. Trump wants to call martial law. Why do he want to call martial law? Well, we know what's coming. Now, when you think about it, all this kind of crap always go on around election time. Now, tell me you don't see the social construct in that. All this pony show has to do with this election. He really wants to be a dictator. I mean, look how he handled the protesters when he wanted to go over to St. John and hold up a Bible that fool. I mean, well, he is a fool. He never probably read in his life. He only seen those Bibles on the table when he's taking his chicks to the hotel, you know what I mean? Because it's a dog, okay, bow wow. But at the end of the day, that's what this is all about. He wants to stop it so he can stay there, because from what I've learned, if they do that, if he does that, he'll stay in office. He can stay up there for the next 4 years. And God knows we do not need that. So if you know anybody protesting, what have you, all of them need to be aware of that. Because we don't want this fool calling martial law. Because think about it. He could do a lot of damage in 4 years. And then, but I don't think it'll be just to us primarily. I think it'll be to the detriment of himself and other people that look like him. And I'll tell you why. I was out one day and I met this mom because my son has a photo business. And I met this mom, and she has 2 sons that was going to, they were joining the Army. So they came in to the photo studio, and I started talking to them. And I started telling them, why are you guys going to go to, why are you joining the Army? And they're saying, well, because I want to go to school for this one. I said, but why would you do that? Because I told them right now, you can just go to a, CC, and you can get those, you can start there and get your credentials and start moving on, to a higher grade. But it's a lot cheaper if you go to a CC. You have to put your blood, sign your name in blood to get, radio and all that nonsense. I mean, no, you don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. I said, we need engineers and we need scientists. We need our young people to be more advanced and work towards doing things that's going to improve our communities. Why would you go and fight in the Army and you don't get no respect in this country? And a lot of you guys get out, you end up dead on the street because the cops shoot you. So after I start, telling them, talking about the truth, the mom comes in. She said, "Are you?" She said, "Are you Nefertiti?" I said, "Yes." She said, "My son said that you talked to them." And I said, "Well, oh, I'm sorry. I know you probably wanted them to go." She said, "No, thank you so much." She said, "Because I didn't want them to join the army." And I said, "Well, good." I said, "Because it's useless." When I look at the totality of Black young men dying in our streets because of these cops, then I'm looking, why are our children protecting this country? Are they protecting it for us too? No, it doesn't include us. It doesn't include you and don't include me. So why the hell should our children be serving on your front lines? Get out of here with that mess. Yeah, that's what I said to her. So that was a happy mom. So yeah, wherever I can get it in, I get it in. Because I'm not going to stand back and watch this atrocity continue with our people. And I target young people primarily because they're open and they want to know. A lot of them are confused. They don't like the old social construct that a lot of us grew up in. That's why they're rebelling. That's why they're fighting back. That's why they're doing drugs. That's why they're in gangs. They don't feel safe because that's the only purpose for a gang, And it provides two things: safety and money. Okay? So that's the problem. You have a lot of us who get our degrees and we strike it rich, but we don't go back and help our people, our children. I mean, how hard is it for a single man? A single man. You don't have to be a father, but just to embrace a young boy and become his brother. We don't. Well, I mean, shout out to nonprofits. I've ran enough of them. I know that's cool. We need them. However, we do know it's some restrictions there because that's government funding. So I'm gonna say that and leave that alone. But why do we need that when it's just decency? I learned about things in life from other grown-ups because it was a family, it was a community. And so what I usually try to tell, I hear young women, and I hear you, it's hard to raise children. It's hard to raise children because you're distracted. You're distracted, and actually I'm starting a women's group, and the name of it is Amazon Melanated Women United. And why? I think I've been called to action to help our sisters out. Because a lot of them I'm watching and I'm observing. I go out in the stores a lot and I still do some form of counseling. When I see them frustrated with their children, and I help them and give them ideas what to do, because it's not that hard to raise a child. Children only cry when they're not satisfied. So one or two things is happening with the child. It's going to be either hungry or thirsty or soiled. Okay, so it's not that hard. You to be in tune your spirit with your child. And a lot of children that love me, I'm not their grandmother. I'm not their mother, but you damn well would think they are mine. Because I don't have a problem with lending out some love, my spirit, to rain down and pour down on a child in need. We have gotten so caught up with this self-pride. That's not us. You're already beautiful. I mean, Nicki Minaj, my girl. Beyonce, my girl. I love you young women. But damn, if you need people to tell you your self-worth, your beauty, then you need a personal check on self, because you can't get happiness from anything external. External. And it's sad because I see a lot of older women acting like they 21. Embarrassing. Embarrassing. And I hear, oh, Nefertiti, you should get a man. And my response back to them, why? Why? And I've been divorced almost 22 years, and I'm cool. I'm cool like that. Because at the end of the day, I had a mother and I had a father. And I was raised that I'm something. I'm a woman of value. I don't need a man to justify me. And by the way, I was blessed with 4 sons, and so I get adorned enough, and I have 2 grandsons now. But just to say that is, I model a certain behavior, and that behavior and that what I model is I'm a queen. Now, yeah, I know we have my family have indigenous roots. Many of us Black folks do, because we were Maroon Indians at one time. And yes, we did not start out in slavery. You know, we need to stop that. We need to study our history when the world, and this is a book, when the world was Black, because it was Black. White man is a very young species. And then there's another one. What were we doing before the Europeans? So please, I implore you, my people, get these books. Get these books. Start listening to Brother Lance is the best, but there's other scholars like Anthony Browder. I mean, this brother, he's from Chicago, and I follow him a lot. There's also the Moors. A lot of their information is very good. So I'm just saying, there's stuff out there, guys. There's stuff out there, you know, and we want to enrich ourselves again, so we can be those proud people that our ancestors were. You know, when you think about, you know, you think about all of our people that's coming up missing. Think about it. Every year, at least 1,000 or 1,500, they say, come up missing. There's no pouring outcry for our people. Now, have we gone so far in this matrix that we don't give a damn about that? It's not good enough to say, oh, those are my children, so I'm not going to do anything about it. I mean, really. My suggestion is start community watch. We need that back. We need to have and you know what? And this is what I addressed to the church. What the hell are you doing other than passing around that tray, collecting, worrying about your Italian? This was a good one. Italian floors, tiles, you know, your suit and your gosh darn watch. A plane, what the heck you need a plane for? Invest in your community, because you got it all backward, Jack. It's the church is not there for you to live on it like a hog. It is a refuge. Now you need to go back into your books and restudy that, because that's what the church is for. It's to feed the people, not yourself. And by the way, you know you get that money from your 501c too. Yes. To pay for your staff, etc. So this is additional money. Yeah, I'm telling the goods. Okay? So that's what the role of the church should be. Get off your butt and get active. You can host a community meeting. Other than run your mouth about, Trump supports stopping abortions. Shut your mouth. That pisses me off. I had a discussion with a family member who are pastors of a church. I shut them down immediately because you know why? I said, I understand you don't want to lose your 501c, but let's keep it real. If you and the Republicans really gave a damn about abortions, why are there still abortion clinics in the Black neighborhood? So if you are going to be so against that and for Trump, then why don't you have yourselves out there protesting and saying you want this building removed from your neighborhood? And while you at it, what about the liquor stores? So that's why it's like, I don't want to hear all that fake stuff. You're fake and you're bougie, and I don't want to hear none of that. So let's shut that down immediately, because I know you're part of the problem. You're happy and, ooh, I'm blessed, because who's blessing you? Who's blessing you? The people in the church, honey, who's giving you their money. That's who's blessing you. And then you turn a blind eye and let all kind of crazy stuff go on in the church that you, quote, supposed to be speaking on, that is not acceptable by Jesus. So this is not to browbeat anybody, because, at the end of the day, people going to do what they want to do. And if they don't want to do nothing, they're not going to do nothing. But I know my listeners hear me. You need to address, and I would address my pastor. We want to hold community meetings once a month up in here. Then we want to form a security, because they got money, security perimeters around our community. And that means we keep a watch on those who are breaking the laws, gang members, drug dealers, but more importantly, keep the cops out our neighborhoods. And then we want to start showing up to some of those meetings. Okay? We got to get involved, people. We got to get involved. We got to show up. Because I noticed when working with school-age children, one of the problems is a lot of our children don't do well, although the education system suck. But nonetheless, it's because a lot of parents don't show up to meet with those teachers. So I personally had to show up for my grandchildren and stand up for them. So when they had a problem with one of their it's usually the white teachers, talking down to them, whatever, guess what? I had to get in their face. I get in their face. And I tell them, all of, their mom might not be available, but I'm showing that, hell, I'm available. And you do not talk a certain way to my grandchild. And if you got an issue, I'm the adult. You address me. Do you understand? And I talk to them exactly like that. Because from where I sit, you ain't nothing but a brat up under me. So you need to model respect for your elders before you try to talk and say anything to my grandchild. You're teaching him how to be disrespectful, and we ain't having it. So, anyways, you either gonna love me or hate me, but that's a personal problem. So going back to constructs, That's how we change it. We have to be unapologetic, and we have to be forceful. Because, these people don't understand nothing else. I mean, even back in the 70s, white people used to say, oh, you don't like white people. I said, and I used to respond, you said it, I didn't. And I left it right there. Because for me, it has nothing to do with whether you like me or I like you. It's about respect. So, and I always refer to the freight train. When you see one coming through, what do? You either move or you get run over. And I don't too much like going around. So, yeah, I have a very strong personality. Yes. Sweet as pie when at most time, but yes, I have a strong personality because I am a protector. I watch and then I act. And so I have some names, but it's okay. But going back to, I want to go back to the protests. I want to thank our young brothers and sisters. Oh my God, it's so beautiful. To hear you speak out so strongly. And a young sister who said the bottom line, the bottom line. I like that. Always give them fools the bottom line, because then they know there's nowhere to go after that. It's the bottom line. You either going to respect us, stop killing us. We're not going to ask you no more. But what I am not going to do anymore, I'm not going to march. And I'm telling you that straight up. I'm not going to march about it, because I believe in eye for eye, tooth for tooth. They tell you that, Christians, we have to be peaceful. No, hell no, we don't have to be peaceful. Who told you that? Who told you that? You go and you try to take a cub from the mother and see what happens. So how the hell you sound that I'm supposed to be so? I ain't trying to be good, okay? I'm being me. So that's first of all, that's an illusion. Either you got a good spirit or you don't, okay? Either you got a protective spirit or you don't, but don't come at with philosophies and all that bullcrap, I'm not into none of that nonsense. And you shouldn't be either. And that's why I'm forming the group, the Amazon Women. Why? Because that was a powerful group of women in Africa who defeated the French. So I just ordered the book. And so to get more feedback on that at a later date, I hope I'll be able to come back and talk to my sisters on that. I like the fact that our people are rising at this time, at moment in time, because it is a crisis. We're in a crisis. But I'm here to tell you it's going to be all right. It's going to be all right, because we needed something. We needed an explosion. We needed something to wake us up. So many of us are asleep, and we think, oh, I like Lance when you said this, Becky is my friend, because that is how a lot of these fools are. I never forget, I had a gentleman in one of my groups, because I used to do the DUI thing, groups for drug court. And I had this one guy interrupting my group all the time. He would go off and say, he was married to a white woman. He was in the Navy, and she left him. I would buy her furniture all the time. And then she left me, that bitch. And so the other ladies, white ladies, was mostly white people in the group. They were like, Nefertiti, could you please tell him don't talk like that? This is not that type of group. And so I did. I told him, do you mind, be respectful. I told him, but don't talk like that in this group. So he waited one day afterwards, and he's like, oh, you're so nice. You're a nice sister. Oh, wow. And intelligent. I was wondering, can we go to have tea one day? After group, or one night after group. And I looked at him, I'm thinking, okay, wait a minute. This is all so familiar. Okay, so you get dumped by Beastie Girl. She takes you for everything you got. The same thing now that you black men accuse black women of doing to you, the gold diggers. Now the hell, they the queen of gold digging. But anyways, and then all of a sudden, I'm appealing to you. Like hell, I wish I would. So anyways, I said, Well, anyways, he didn't know, but it was my last day because I was already hired to go work at the prison. So I saw him. I snuck in there, got my check, and I left. So he was stood up because it's like, no, Brett, baby, I don't do seconds, sweetheart. Either a king approaches me, I don't want no duds, and I don't play that. I carry myself, and I know who I am with the highest respect. And if you can't approach me right, no, you keep it stepping, brother. Keep it stepping. Because to me, life is not a game. It's not a game. There's certain things. How the hell you think we ran this world for 2,000 years if our kings and queens was like that? Okay? It's when they took their eyes off the prize, we start falling. And we've been falling ever since. Ever since. And I had, and I'll go there. I had a conversation with my brother, who is a homosexual. And I was having this heart to heart with him about our men. I said, they have been beat down so badly that in order to exist, they either are going to be addicts out there doing crime with white women. I said, or they become, I always say, booty buffers for the men, and I'm not trying to be, insulting anybody, but it is what it is, because there's no point in that, but, you're doing what you do. But, and then you leave women, and women now fend for themselves. So now we look at each other. Well, I'll take me out of that equation. But anyways, some women look at each other as a comfort, and some chick dress up like a man or whatever, or she sees herself in another woman. And now look at that. Well, the white man don't have to do much to stop procreation between black people, because if you get enough of us are homosexuals and lesbians, hey, there you go. There you go. So this thing needs to happen. And maybe hopefully it put enough fear in you that your eyes is open to the truth. Since a lot of you read the Bible, what does it say in the last days? You can't run to the mountain. You can't run to the rock. There's not going to be nowhere for you to hide. You can't go fly to Africa, because Africa going through their thing as well. So that means you're going to have to stand, and you're going to have to face the facts and perhaps fight and die for your freedom. Why do I say that? Check out the debate in Africa. And I'm listening. And this white man says, Africa don't belong to black or white. And we came here and we bought land, and it's ours. This young black man stood up and he said, what did you say? He said there was never any white people here in Africa until you came and you colonized us. And then the young white woman says to the audience, we should just give it back. And the young black lady turned around and stood. And young lady, she said, no, we don't want you to give it back to us. We want to take it like you took it from us. And so then the young black guy says, and if you don't leave, we'll just kill you. I was like, oh my God, that's right, baby. That's right. Show your power. Show your unity. Show your power. Because in America, you're taught to stroke their ego, to protect them. And a lot of us are like that. A lot of us are like that. It's sickening. It's sickening. It makes me want to puke. That's how sickening it is. But you will sit there and you'll kill one another that look like you, someone that look like you. You have this hate fighting over territory that don't even belong to you. It did once before, years, decades ago, but it doesn't today. And why? You're going to show your brute strength to who? Flaxing for who? To one another? What's the purpose of that? What is the purpose of that? Any other construct, that's part of it. Us fighting against one another. You know, when I hear different groups, man, and I'm talking, and I feel listless sometimes because I'm going to be 61 actually next month. And just to see this turmoil, it's no rest. It's no rest. It's no rest. You know, but thanks to the ancestors, they have given me the energy to pick myself up and do it again. Now I want to talk to my brothers. I want to talk to you. Because I see you got the Hebrews over here, the Moors over there, right? The natives over here. The Caribbeans over there. My Rasta brothers. Well, I love Rasta. But anyways, what the hell is wrong with you men? Oh, did I forget? I did. The Muslims. Let's not forget my Muslim brothers. And I love me some Farrakhan. However, I'm not Kabbalist. I'm not into the books that much. Because at the end of the day, all of it's tainted and was written by men. Okay, deceptive men. Okay? So I'm not totally knocking it. There's some things in there that might help you devise a plan, but I'm not going to put all my eggs in one basket. Been there and done that, won't do it again. Anyways, talking back to your brothers. Why can you not come together and work out a plan? Because you are the stump, the strength of the tree. All the fertilization, everything goes on in the earth up into the tree to grow the tree, to make more branches and leaves and keep it going, to keep the life going. Think about that. You know, it's just like man and woman making babies, you know, together. There was a time, and I think that's what I like about African countries, how the men, they can walk in arm, there ain't all that gay stuff going down, and they sit with each other. You know, kind of remind me how I grew up, you know, being around ethnic, indigenous, cultural people. You know, we always were together, you know. Now the people, just our people, and we're talking, we're laughing, we got the music and the food, you know, and that's the greatest thing when I was growing up. Of course, a lot of that was lost as we got older and people died off. That was from, you know, the Caribbeans and the Creoles. But anyways, moving on. I just was having a moment in time. I miss that. I miss going outside and seeing the brothers talking, philosophical about life, in general, talking about the struggles and what we got to do. And, there was a sense of togetherness and unity, and it was in the air, when we see each other. I mean, these people broke us down so bad that when you're in the store, right? And we were ridiculed for that closeness, enmeshment is what they call it in psychology, that we start pulling away from each other. So we won't even acknowledge each other when we're in the stores and stuff, so why can't we put aside these titles and names? Because at the end of the day, life started out in Africa. The Egyptians was the first to sell a goddamn boat over here, set up shop. And I'm just going to be blunt. I'm not going to go do all that over the head stuff. I'm just to talk to you straight now. Okay? And before anybody got here, they keep saying it belongs to the Indian. Well, you better read and understand about $5 Indians. The red man. Who is the red man? The white man's the red man. How did they become these mongrels that call themselves Native Americans? So, there was a mix going on back then. Okay? So it's there. You just got to pick up, like I said, pick up the book. They got stuff in the museum, whatever. We're the oldest people. We're the oldest. If your last name Washington, you're Wichita. The oldest people, Moabites. Okay? So we need to first come together. I know you think that's a dirty, dirty, nasty word we call African. Okay? But to me, it's a dirty word we call black. Because I'm more than a darn substance. Okay? And you should feel that way too. There ain't no such thing as a white person either. They're red. White comes out of Egypt. It was for status. It had nothing to do with skin color. It's divisive used in this country, in European country. Which, I mean, that's fine with me. You say you white. I mean, that means that you telling me you soulless and spiritless. So, whatever. But the point I'm making here, brothers, stop it with the macho stuff. You don't have nothing to prove to one another like that. You don't. And when you get wisdom and knowledge of something, don't be too big to listen to your brother. And it runs in the family because I have an older brother who just started getting into it and he think he know more than me. But I let him because I'm not gonna sit and argue with you. I tell him we need to do a collaboration. And that's why women are so important, intelligent women that is, and got their crap together. Because we are the glue that put everybody together. I mean, think about it, ladies. If you got a bad headache, you're not doing well, you're not happy. Nobody's gonna be happy. Because I know I tell you about those days, But at the end of the day, unity. Because you can't tell your woman to be this goddess, okay? To be this queen when you ain't no king. Okay? So it starts there. Get some wisdom. Get some understanding. And please, I listen to the Hebrew brothers. I will never follow you because if everything you know about yourself is out of a damn Bible, I mean, you ain't no better than the pastor, the local pastor. I mean, what are you talking? And then the nonsense that you spew. Child, it's been over 400 years. Get a clue. Ain't nothing came to save us. Ain't nothing going to save you. Why? So you can sit on your behind and cow down? Because that's what I see. Yeah, I'm just saying. That's what I see. Because I stand up to big men to protect my sons. And the reason they didn't hit me because they see I was crazy as F-U-C-K. And if you hit me, I'm taking something. I don't care what I'm grabbing or what I'm ripping off, but I'm taking something. I'm going to hurt you. So you got to have that mentality. The only reason you've been punked like this by the police because they can. Because they can. And only you, men, and I'm talking about men, toughest of men, coming together. I love it back in the day, right? When Malcolm X was rolling. And, you know, even the Muslims couldn't control that brother. He was something else. And that's why I know that they got, the CIA got the green light to do what they did to him. Okay? That's why. Because they couldn't handle him. Because they were trying to do the peaceful thing and no, and what I just say, the Muslims, we're forbidden to harm anybody. Get the hell out of here. Just look at all the wars that was taking place back then. You can't escape that. You can't escape that. Man only got respect from another man because he beat him down. And that's the truth. People only do to you what you allow. I was out here one day with my grandchildren because it's quarantine, and like I said, fuck all that. Excuse my French. You're not gonna tell me what to do. And I had my grandchildren outside. The block was dead. I started bumping some music. Let my grandchildren play out front, and I see this Caucasian across the way. Me and her had words once before, and then she's looking. She's on her cell phone. Then next thing you know, a cruiser, a police come rolling by. And I stood there with my hand on my hip and I just looked at him. He stopped, he looked at me, and then he went on about his business. Because A1, you're not going to violate my rights. If you come up on my property, we're going to have some damn problems. Big time. And I made it clear to him, we're going to have some damn problem. I'll take my cane and bust him in the head. And I will be locked up. I don't care. Well, no, actually I won't, because he's violating me coming on my property. So first of all, I learned about the right, the amendments and the Constitution. I did all that, California laws and everything. Okay, because they're different than East Coast. I don't know if it changed that much, but then you could shoot somebody if they were outside your property trying to break in or whatever. And California, when I moved out here back in 1989, they arrested a man for doing that. And they said, oh, well, he should have drugged the body into his house. And I'm like, what? Why should you do all that? It's called prevention. But nonetheless, you have no right going into on anybody's property, arresting them, whatever, which I've been seeing that a lot on the internet. They did that to a African American gentleman, and he was in his underwear. It's like, what the heck is wrong with these fools? And then I saw a video of a young lady. They walked up in her house. She was out taking a smoke, and she goes in the house, and she turned around. 2 cops in her house, but she told them fools off. God, I wish I could upload that video so you guys can see it, but it was good. She told me to get the F out of her house. So, and then the famous line is, oh, someone called and said they heard a noise. She said, that's because I got damn children. Go girl, you tell them now. That's what I like. Stand up for it. You stand up. What they gonna do? What they gonna do? It'll be total out of line. Totally. So, but back to my brothers. All I have to say, stop competing. Set up a forum. and all you fellas get together. You know, I'm talking about brother Felipe show. Okay. Uh, uh, a scholar, what's his name? Kama, I can't even think his name, but he's on there. You know, on there. There's quite a few of us that is speaking out and talking about, you know, getting back to who we were as a people. You know, raising our level of vibration. I'm an avid, and trust me, I do meditate daily, maybe twice a day. I have to, because I don't know if it is because of the Jamaican bloodline or whatever, but I do have a temper, and everybody tells me, you know, you get too upset, you're gonna have a heart attack. But it's like, I gotta get the hell out of here. That's how I express myself. I'm a very loud, straightforward person, and I don't try to hurt people, but I don't waver from the truth. And I let you know what I really care about, because I'm warning you. I have to warn you because I'm not going to be responsible after that. So yeah, I warn cops. I warn anybody. I don't care who you are. I warn you. You know, if you do a certain thing now, you'll never get rid of me. You might as well kill me now. Because if, God forbid, if you touch one of mine, I don't want you. I want what you did. You took my child. Yours going to come up missing. And no, I won't care, because I don't see you like I see a real human being. You don't act like one. So that's how I feel about that. You know, I don't promote hatred. I'm not down with that, because I have some neighbors. I have a lot of neighbors, most everybody around here, but it's hi bye, maybe a little chit chat. But that's as far as it go for me, because I'm not that person. You know, but you live, I live, and I let live, and that's what I want. That's all I want. Live and let live. I'm tired of this constant uproar, this craziness. Since Trump's been in the White House, it has been nothing but conflict. We don't get a damn break. But they're doing that on purpose. It keeps our vibration very low. It keeps us, they want to keep you in a state of fear and panic. So when it gets too much, pull back. But don't you spew it. You stand strong. You know, my sister, I think her name is Carrie. You know, I heard you a few nights ago, really upset, you know, and I understand, but we got to stand strong in front of our enemies. You know, I cry, we all cry, but you ain't gonna know it. You're not gonna know it. You don't know how I feel. You can't tell. I'm not gonna let you go in my psyche, anyways, like that. You know, but the point is, and it took some years of training, but it is what you see is what you get. Now, getting back to the social construct, we need to get back to our families. Family being family, and it doesn't have to be born bloodlines, because we are one blood. Okay, if you don't believe me, take a DNA test. Although I wouldn't take a DNA test by anybody, because you don't know if our enemies shopping for a certain kind of blood type or heart or anything to consume. You know, hey, it is what it is. That's what the research showed that they used to do, consume us. And if you think they stopped, I don't think so. I don't think so. And that's why our children are still coming up missing. And people having autopsies done, finding out that body parts out of their children and things like that is happening. So this is real, but I think we're at the end of this thing. We're at the end of this thing, and it is going to get worse before it gets better. Now, there is going to be a season, because now we have to go back to the drawing board. Not us personally, I'm talking about them. They got to go back to the drawing board, and I'm going to tell you why. Things did not turn out the way they hoped. This COVID-19 was supposed to do more damage than it has done thus far. Now, I have an argument with people, and see, this is the thing about us. We can't just listen to Dr. Fauci and people like that. We need to look outside what's going on in other countries with this COVID thing. And you find out, surprisingly, the countries that were hit the hardest was in Italy, and European countries, not Africa. Okay, listen to my sister. Oh God, I can't think of her name right now. They had up to 301 cases, but see, in Madagascar, they found something that can get rid of it in 24 hours. A vaccination they came up with, made of organic fruits and vegetables. So they also let WHO know about it, and that's the World Health Organization. They did let them know about it, and to try to get it patented. But now the European countries were kicking back on them because you know what they were worried about? They were worried about, okay, the guy says to the health, the medical person in Madagascar, what about, are you going to give us the samples that you've done, blah, blah, blah. He was like, no, we are running our own tests and we're going to deal directly with WHO. Bully for him. You know why? Because that's been going on for decades. The most brilliant scientists and doctors are usually out of Africa, right? So they take whatever they do and then they patent it and they get the money. Well, we know that that's been going on for decades. I mean, when you look at Henry Ford, okay, you find out later a black guy, came up with it, with the patent for that, or the plans for that, the diagram for that, the cars, So we have to look and understand one thing. We live in a country, and not just here, it's around the world. We're dealing with people who are master illusionists. They've been able to trick us with the sunlight. Okay, they're out there doing things they ain't got no business. I mean, in the universe, so we won't get enough sun, so we won't be fed, so that our pineal gland won't get the substance that we need to open up what they call the third eye. Okay, it's just a natural part of us. It's a natural part of us that we need it. So we are down, I would say, to the finish line, and we got to go for the gold. And we can either choose to continue to be in this matrix that they built for us, or we can wake up. We can wake up and walk in our destiny. Stop listening to there's a paradise when you die. Why should you plan to die? Death comes when it comes. You don't have to plan for that. It's planning to live. How are you going to live? Are we continually going to live in bondage? Because it's a form of bondage. Yeah, I'll let you work. Take most of your money. Make you pay to work. Wow, I've been collecting on you since you were born. Because this is a corporation. Make no mistake about it. And then a corporation is about the finance, it's not about the people. It's not about people. We want to hear they'll exploit their own. Let's keep it real. Okay? This has nothing to do with human life as we know it. It has nothing to do with that. And we have to get to a place where we understand that. We have to get to a place where we understand that. We also need to get to a place to think about who we are individually. First of all, we got to reach inside and understand our strengths. And we have weaknesses, but we also can turn those weaknesses into our strengths. You know, think about, somebody asks you, oh, I love how they do that. Can you name a couple of your strengths? And can you name your weaknesses? You know what I say? I say, oh, my weaknesses, I talk a lot. I said, but I use my communication as a tool to advance myself. Do you see how I turned that around? Because you're not going to put in my head that I'm weak. You're not going to tell me ever who I am. I know who I am. I know whose I am. And I'll tell you in a minute, I'm a goddess. I'm the netter. Every Black woman is the netter. Every Black woman is the netter. That's why slave women were given a force, because it's not like they went over there, hey, I want to share my milk with your baby. No. They knew that Black woman had substance for life in her body. They knew that. But it's so sad that we don't. And I look how far our ladies have dropped. And I mean, and not in the soil, baby. Not in the earth that grows anything productive. I'm talking about in the trash, okay? Or in the sand. Something that you can't grasp for life. I remember my son said to me one day, he said, Mom, you're like Jesus Christ. He didn't know any better, but that's okay. The comparison was okay, I guess. I said, oh, why you think that? He said, because you love us like Jesus Christ do. And I was like, oh. He said, and on the breast of every child is mother. And I thought, oh, I guess he took a lot of his mom with all these real sweet words. Then I turned around and said, what do you want? But I'm just kidding. But being serious, sisters, when you think about all the things we do to ourselves, to be attractive. And I watch. And I watch. I can't help it. I observe people. That's what I do. And you attract these boys, because they're not men, in my opinion, for a little while. And then they leave. And I used to have young women ask me, what am I doing wrong? I said, because you haven't learned to sit with self. Because see, in the quiet, you learn. You can hear yourself. But when you got all that drama, you can't hear nothing, honey. You can't hear nothing. And if you have children, you definitely can't hear nothing. You have to come to a place where you got to examine what it is to be a woman. Listen to your internal organs. Listen to your breath that you breathe. Listen to your heartbeat. You know, I had a X-ray, not X-ray, what do you call those? EKG. And the doctor says, yo, your heart beats like music. You got a lovely heart. I say, honey child, that's the God in me. And it is. It is. It beats like boom, boom, boom. Music, baby. Music. You know, because it's true. Music calms even the beast. That's why they like our stuff so much. And that's why they call it soul music. Because it was just something about the sound, man. It was a heartbeat. It was a heartbeat. But then what happened? And this is back to the men now. I'm going to be bouncing around just a little bit, but it's going to be in the same context. Trust and believe that. Because I love you. You know, I used to have a problem with Tupac back in the day. But then when I researched the brother's life, but he always had a smile on his face and he loved his mama. He spoke highly of his mama. You know, my heart to this day, I think about what a waste in life that, you know, that young man, if somebody would have just, a brother would have stood up for him. Yeah, we got to love each other again. We got to hear each other again. We got to respect ourselves. And that's what starts at. And then we pass that down to our children. And the point that this Caucasian science person stated about our DNA, the reason they used to rip the pregnant woman, the mom that was pregnant in front of the children and the husband and stuff, it was to instill fear into the children and everybody. So you would pass that down genetically to your children. And I would say, it's true. It's true. But like I said, it's part of that construct. You know, we have the ability to heal our bodies if we atone to it, right? If we listen, you can hear the ancestors speak to you. They do stuff for you. Yes, I do rituals from my ancestors. I do libations. I stay centered because it's like this. Even though I share a little bit of something, I got injured on my job on purpose because I was working for the county, and oh God, I'm telling you, government is a bunch of hateful people working together. It's a mess. But anyway, when they find out you not like that and you got a good spirit, they do everything to crush it. Okay, but I'm gonna leave that there. But I don't take any medications. I don't do any of that because I don't want nothing that controls me in my body. I won't take surgeries. I won't do none of that. But I get up every day with vigor. Like, and I have bad days, but you ain't gonna know because I feel like this is none of anybody's business. I take care of me. Don't worry about it. And I'm like that. Okay, I'm very strong and independent that way. But to say that is, I have not lifted myself, but it was lifted and done for me. I have grown sons, very strong sons, but I don't ask them for anything. I'm not that I'm too proud as a woman to ask for help, but I've been used to doing my own thing. I still do it. And the reason I chose to be a single woman is because I ain't got time for fools. I said, if I see one more black man with a jersey and a goddamn gold chain and a big watch on his arm, I'm going to lose it. So, no, there's a time and season for everything. Okay. And that's how I feel and believe. So, what I'm just saying to you ladies and you gents, know thyself. Learn to love yourself. Become molded in your being. So molded that you are fierce and unshaken. So therefore, it's the same my mom used to say, if you don't believe in anything or you don't stand for anything, you believe anything. If you don't stand for anything, you believe anything. And so that's what they know in this matrix, that this construct that they created for us. They start a fire over here, we run over, just like cattle. Just like cattle. There's a fire over here, we run over there. They start one over there, we run over there. You know, and this is the control factor. This is the control factor. And then after we get over the upset, what we do? We run to the church. The church give us a bandage, you know, a save message, and he gonna get our enemy. Oh, child. I mean, look, how many people do they have to kill? How many decades do you have to see people die and whatever to see that is not going to happen? That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Why? Because you are created the first. We are the soil of this planet. We are the mothers, the fathers. We create. We created them. Now, just like a ruly child, you got to put them back in line. How's that going to happen? It's going to happen when you learn who you are. You learn who you are. And you become the God and the goddess that you're supposed to be. We must unite. And then also, what I am going to be working towards is a Pan-African movement. Because I love the fact that our brothers and sisters now are speaking to the Americans, letting them know, if you don't stop treating our people like that, guess what? We're not going to do trade with you. So what I would like is to start finding out, because well, maybe I could call it an African friend of mine, but markets that I can start sending for my food and things like that, because, you know, they contaminate this food here. But we need to start somewhere. We need to start somewhere. It's not going to go away just because we're going to have a little calmer peace after these protests. Trust me, these fools are in the wings, sinking now. You know, one thing is right about the Bible. The devourer goes to and fro. While you sleeping, he's plotting. That's what they do. So the pandemic didn't work, right? Because everybody's like, the hell with that. And I'm going to say the hell with that too. Why? Because where are all the people who life was lost? You know, we would have been on social media. I look all through that thing. I don't hear nothing. Yeah, a couple people, but usually they're older people. You know, and for the record, how many people die a year from influenza? And what happened to all the heart attacks? Everything else, man, get out of here with all that noise. That's called control. Keep us in the house so they can do what they do. I mean, you're not going to do that to me. Okay? Everybody has a time. to die. There's a time and season for everything. That's a fact. So it's not your time. What you worried about? You ain't got to worry about death. First of all, let's put that out there. We ain't got to worry about death. Yeah, you can push death on you by your lifestyle. You out there, you know, drugging it up and gang banging it up and prostitute, whatever. Yeah, you can push your death on you faster. You know, but we ain't got to sit here and contemplate and think about death. Do you see white people sitting around thinking about death? No, they living large on what your ancestors built. Yeah, that should piss you off. It pissed me off. You know, can't go to the beach, can't do nothing without them messing with people. They might not, I might not experience it firsthand. But to me, if you're doing it to somebody that looks like me, hell, I am experiencing it. Okay? Because that's my brother over there, that's my sister over there. And worse yet, they're younger than me. That's like my child. And I think what pissed me off is when you look at these videos and you have black people just recording. Okay? But now I'm walking up on your ass and I'm going to tell you, what the hell you think you're doing to Brother Floyd down there? You're killing him. And if you don't do something about it, I am going to make a move. Do what you got to do. But there's no way we should be sitting there watching that shit. Oops, there I go. Okay. I'm going to pull it back now. Breathe.
Let it flow. Let it flow. Let the emotions flow. Don't pull back. Okay. We want some spicy food up in here.
Okay. Okay, brother.
Here you go.
But that pissed me off to the high heavens. That pissed me off to the high heavens. Don't be a coward and be doing drive-bys on the cops and shooting them. And nobody knows who shot them. Probably some white supremacist did that. You know, not a black man. You know, a lot of people think, oh, you know, you crazy because when what's his name, Dahmer, when he went off and was shooting all these cops in California, I was like, yeah, because hell, people know if you work in the system how racist it is. This man had just did duty and coming here and these cops treating him like that. He went off. So to me, his death wasn't in vain. No, he did what he needed to do. You know? So this is what I'm saying. You can't sit there and let them mess with your children. So I applaud my young sister, if you listening, in Florida that cussed those cops out and made them kick their ass at your house. You damn right. You kick them out. You kick them out. First time I heard when they were talking about using the coronavirus as an excuse to come up in our homes and take people out that they suspect have it. Well, my response, and I posted it, I wish you bring your ass up in here and see if you get out alive. Because I mean every word of it. I mean I'll die on it. You understand? You never, ever think you're gonna walk. I'm not for that generation in 19. I don't give a crap about none of that. None of that. You threaten me or my children. You know, you better off if you threaten me because I don't care as long as you don't put your hands on me. But when you start targeting my children, honey, a woman scorned has no fury. Do you understand? You know, burn it down. We have to take a stand. And we have to say enough is enough. And to my brothers and sisters, you're not going to find anybody better than your own counterparts. They want you to think that that's status. Brothers in the NFL, NBA, what the hell is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? And then you got the nerve to complain. Now you got a lot of sisters hooking up with white men. Well, didn't you know she was the booty in the first place? That shit you got, they don't care about that. I always make a joke. When they were, I have to laugh because when they were in the caves together, they found human remains where they were chewing and, eating each other, And I said, so for the white man, hell, he was having his sex and snack at the same time. I know that's a mean thing to say, but it is true.
No, but it's
So,
the truth.
yeah, I just keep it true. Yeah, come on. Because they had each other. You know, that's where that homosexual stuff comes from. So we just have to keep it real. You know, they have to beautify themselves like that. Black woman, you don't have to do all that, girl. You don't have to do that. Be you. Be natural. Our brothers need to turn their eyes back to their women and not each other. Not each other. There's no life in that. That's only death. Just think about it. If the world was all men or all women, that wouldn't even never happen, first of all. Because at the end of the day, you need a man and a woman to procreate. It's only common sense. It's only common sense. We don't even have to think about that. We don't have to even think about that. That's just like all these years. You know, you thinking they were on the moon, but it never dawned on you, why in the hell did an astronaut look bigger than the moon? You know? And that didn't occur to me either until I started looking at some documentaries. And I'm like, wait a minute. Should it be like on Earth? You're inside Earth, you see trees and everything. Why they look like they're on top of it and put the flag right on top of it? See, this is the game that they've been playing on us. It's an illusion. I mean, they're not just doing it to us, they're doing it to their own. I heard this white guy from Europe, I forget what part of Europe, but he was appalled. He said that you calling me white. He said, I'm not white. There's no such thing as white people. Back in the day, it was either you English, you're Italian, you're French, but it wasn't no white. So that was only created so they can divide us. That's it. That's it. You know, we weren't the first, quote, niggers in America. The Irish were. Okay? To British, everybody that has fuller lips and a different nose than theirs was part nigger. You know? So we got to look at this thing for what it is. For what it is. Your sister's already brown, tawny, honey, chocolate, okay? By design. We don't have to sit in no sun and go to a tanning boot and put no orange tanning crap on us to make ourselves beautiful. We're already beautiful. I'm 61. You won't be able to tell it. Okay?
I know. You sent me the picture. You sent me the picture, and I already made the banner. But if I didn't notice the message, so I made a different banner. When I saw the picture, I said, man, I should have put your face in there. But I tell you what, next time it's going to be up in there and they're going to see how beautiful you really are.
Thank you.
That's
Thank
right.
you, brother. Thank you. So, you know, we just got to realize we are the cream of the crop. And they hate us because we all that and they are not. They misappropriate us. They appropriate from us. They exploit us. Anything that they can do to try to break us. But they won't. They won't. Because we are the Phoenix. We have proven that. Man, it blows my mind. 2,000 years. Let it roll off your tongue that you represent that. You represent that. Can you imagine? And I'm getting excited. Can you imagine once we are unified? You know, there was a great explosion that broke the earth apart. I wonder what was that caused that explosion? It could have been too much of us. Too much of our energy. You don't understand. If we're grounded and we get ourselves back connected with the netter, okay? The netter and the matter, that dark substance that they're always talking about. that beautiful dark substance that holds all the souls in it. You know, there's a guy named Dr. Blair. What is his first name? But he passed away a few years ago. He's out of Chicago. And he's a physicist. And he was talking on one of the videos. Hopefully you guys look it up. Delbert Blair. And he was talking about the dark substance that they call the black matter, the dark matter in the universe. And back in the days, in the 60s, there was I want to say a medical center. It wasn't a medical center, but it was like a laboratory in Chicago, and they say it's still there. But they were experimenting on back then on black people, right? So they was trying to get the matter. They wanted to know about the matter the melanin that's in our skin. So they were literally, he said, burning the people down to ashes. And they found that the ashes was going up and back into the universe itself, connecting with the dark matter. And so that's why you hear the big thing about the black hole, because the black hole start expanding. But see, what they don't tell you is that we're the only creatures, people, not creatures, people, that does this. When we die, our matter goes right back up into the universe and connects with the dark matter. I thought that was awesome and fantastic to know that, because it brought me to the reality of knowing who is the gods. Let that sink in for a few minutes. And they found that within that was these twinkling lights, all these lights. They call it the Milky Way. But that's souls. Literally. So there's so much for us to discover. Yeah, I'm 61. I'll say that again, because I am thrown back by all the stuff that, I'm learning. And now I dedicate my time to that, because that's all that I care about at this point, is getting this information and breaking it down to a bite size to give to our children, because I'm so fed up with what they're learning at school. The crap that won't help them. And then they can't even see themselves in it. So how can they really plan for a future? How when I don't have no pride in myself? I don't see myself. I see myself only as a sturdy slave from Africa. That disgusts me. Even when I was a child, I was raised to know better, to know who our people are. And I couldn't believe that everybody wasn't teaching that in their homes. And when they know who you are, they do treat you differently. They address you correctly. Matter of fact, sometimes when I'm fully dressed, and my turban and my scarf and what have you, and I look like I could be a practicing Muslim, but I'm not. It's just a comfortable dress, and I like it. It's beautiful. It bears more of my face, and that's what you get to focus on. So I just have a distinct way of dressing. But anyways, I have people white people, mind you, they open the door, they dress me as ma'am. It's totally different when I used to experiment back in the day when I was studying sociology, and I would go in the store dressed one way, and then I would go in and dress down. and the treatment was totally different. And when one day I was in the store and I was dressed in a bomber jacket and jeans, and so I was being followed in the store. And I turned, it was so funny. I turned around so fast and faced that lady. I said, "Excuse me, may I help you?" She said, "Oh, no, I was just when I said, no, you were not. You was following me." And I told her, I'm doing a paper on how the mistreatment of Black people in the stores, etc., whatever. She said, "Oh, no, well, I have nothing to say." She walked away. But just to know, when I hear like, what I would like to see, Brother Lance, I would like to see our people just be more grounded when they're being confronted by white people. Because it's a total different response from them. Total. You're in control. And see, I am a believer of controlling and creating my own environment. And some people say, no, you can't do that. I go in there and I do it. Because I said it. And when I believe in something and I said it, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. I don't care what anybody else got to say. I create my own environment. I have always created my own environment. If I'm in a meeting and there's a bunch of white men, I sit where the white men sit. They're uncomfortable. I'm not. So we got to come to a place where screaming and yelling and just downright out. They tell you as a Black man, be obedient. I taught my sons, no, you don't. You do this, because I also took law because I need to know how to operate in California because it was different than back there. I said, you ask for a name and you get their badge number immediately. And so that's what my sons start doing. And they're like, oh, okay, well, sir, you have a nice day. Because the point is, if they know, and you know who you are, they don't know what to do with that. They don't know what to do with that. And I have helped young men who say, oh, well, I'm going to be arrested because I didn't pay child support or this and that, but I didn't have a job. I say, okay, this is what you do. I advise them what to do when they go to court. And then sometimes they pop up and they say, thank you for helping me, because I've got a problem helping my people. And that's in all professionals. Now I'm going to address you. We don't need your tears. We don't need your sorries. But what we do need, we need you to use your office. We need you pastors to use your platform and get this damn thing done. Now, because I personally, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. Put someone else first before your damn self. And stop this nonsense for you get an ass whooping from the ancestors that they're going to give you if you don't get your head out of the clouds and allowing your children to be treated this way, because you are responsible. I don't blame these two-legged beasts. Just like if we let the dogs rule, the hell, they be chewing up and eating up everything too. You are the mothers and the fathers. Don't be a part of the problem. Be a part of the solution. It's okay to be proper, but it's not okay to be stupid. And I'm not going to say ignorant. Ignorance when you don't know. When you know you don't do nothing, you're just stupid and incompetent. And you're weak. Despise weakness in a man or a woman. I despise you because we have no use for people like that. So you need to stand the hell up. Do what is expected of you. That's what we need to see. And we need to see one voice and one body. Because what you do to someone else, you're doing it to me. Seeing our brother laying there, suffocating. All you fools standing there should have descended on those fools. It was enough of you. And that's what pissed me off. If you do more of that, less of the marching, more of that, you'll get a balance. When I think about the Al Capone era, which was my favorite, because the Italians ran their damn neighborhoods. They ran their neighborhoods. I used to love going to Chicago. Cicero area was full of them. I used to go there with my dad for the horse races. I admire the strength, not the people so much, because the Roman Church, Roman Catholic Church, was one of the main players when it came to slavery. But they didn't even declare Italians being part of the white race until I believe like the late 60s or early 70s. That was a big thing in New York, because I'll never forget the stories about how the Irish and whatever came together with bats and killing and beating up black men. So carnage of the black man is it's to me, it's nothing new. It's been going on forever. But now, the question that begs an answer. What the hell we're going to do to stop it? And that's why I say let's go back to the beginning. Because that, mind you, hanging didn't start till 1929. Then it was ramped up. And that's because of it was a political ploy. Okay, that's another history lesson. But if you notice, it's still playing out. This mass marching and all this bullshit, it's around what? What time is it? You know, work with me. We're in another political season. So the question is, when the hell are we going to stop? Now, you young people, I know you don't know a whole lot about this, because you guys too busy with your cell phones and your partying and, hey, I understand that, and puffing on those little pipes now. So, and weed is legal in most states and what have. So you doing your thing. You doing your thing because you think everything is hunky-dory and, my friends are not racist and so you don't know about this. You better know anything about election time. I mean, you got a group of young black Republicans, spouting off. I can't think of that little chick's name that's always on YouTube running her darn mouth. Wish somebody would slap her real good, a white person, preferably, so they can knock her down a couple of notches. Because she thinks I don't know what she thinks she is, but I can say this much: she doesn't act like she's in this real time that we're in. And the other brother too, that's a Republican. I can't think of his name either, but I'll get the name and stuff and give it to you later. But I can understand you guys not understanding the beast, because this is a beast. The system is a beast. And everything set up is to feed this beast, right? But people who are, I'll say, not even 40, I'll say roughly around at least 45 and older, you should know better. Yeah, you've been around. So you should know something. You should know something. Well, especially you 50 and older, hell, you know. And I don't hear that you're too busy. Ain't no such thing. Is you too busy to live? You know what I mean? So, because what you're doing and you ain't living just because you're going to work and you can buy some food, some clothes. I mean, that's essential. You know, how many of us can go wherever the hell we want to around the world? You know, I just found out Africa takes what, almost 6 months for your visa. Get the hell out of town. But for Europe or whatever, you can go there whenever. And that's why they're so goddamn gone rich. You know, we sitting here letting this stuff slide. Because we got these weak ass leaders that ain't even address they don't even address the policy. You know, I was excited when the Congress changed. You know, we got young women in there. What was some of the arguments already? You know, the younger ones was talking about, oh, we need new fresh blood. So that's your focus? And have you heard anything since from these young women? No. They're worried about the next election. So I'm gonna have to say, we need somebody better than them heifers too. Because you ain't did nothing while you was in there. Yeah, you blew a lot of hot air to get those seats. But after that, you pissed me off. Because you start looking down on the older women who you stood your ass up on their shoulders to get there. So how you talking about fresh blood? No, honey, you always gonna need wisdom because you're still wet behind the ears. You know? So this is the problem. It's a disconnect between generations, and the young people don't necessarily trust the older people, which I don't blame them. I don't blame them. Because working with children, whatever, I see where the breakdown is. You know, I see women, you know, older women, 40 and 50, still trying to pull young boys now. You know, they're worried about that. It's like, what the hell is your problem? That's your legacy, huh? You know, and then when I look back, when our ancestors were here, they was running dynasties. You know, you can't just live just to live. You live to build. We need a stronger economic base. And that's one thing, and that's another problem. Part of social construct. You rather take your money and put it in these white organizations, these white people. You know, you know what really pissed me off too? You'll have a black doctor, a scientist, that's telling you who you are. And you won't listen and believe him. You say, oh, he crazy. But as soon as a white man speaks about your history, you will say, oh, okay, well, that must be true. And I'm like, what the hell? How you going to listen to this fool? You know, they've been destroying you your whole damn life, and all of a sudden, because now it's okay to tell the truth, well, they ain't got no choice but to start trying to change crap up because all the truth is coming out and they can't stop it, right? They can't stop you now. They can't stop our brothers, scholars going out there, you know, doing the work now, and who've been doing the work for some of them over, like Ben Clark, you know, for over what? I think he's been in it over 40 years or something like that, I believe. You know, but have you heard about him really? No, not until they start allowing this information to get out and then filtering out. You know, well, a lot of you haven't heard about it because you're not trying to discover anything about yourselves. So you don't know. Because when I speak on stuff like that, it's amazing how you just sit there and a lot of people just sit and look at me like, wow, ooh, she's deep. Ooh, you know, it's too much. It's too much information. Because they can't even fathom being a part of a dynasty, you know, to know that there was a life for us way before white people. We gave them life. And all they did is took from us. Yeah, the question I always had was, how the hell did this happen? And that's because they adopted the values of the Europeans. But make no mistake, because I'm getting ready to wrap it up now, Brother Lance. Make no mistake that history always repeat itself if you don't learn and fulfill your destiny. And I'm going to tell you, back in 1991 or 1990, I think it was 1991. And I was taking a class on bureaucracy, I believe it was. But the instructor, it was a Jewish woman, quote, a so-called Jewish woman. But anyways, they're Nazis, but anyways, that's another thing. But she's asked the question. She said, "Can the Holocaust repeat itself?" And everybody in the room except me, I said yes. And everybody else was saying no. And so she said, actually, Nefertiti is correct. It can, because of propaganda and social media. See, social media dictates to us what to think. And so all they have to do is isolate a group, make that group look so horrible and bad that people would rather, when they see something happening over there, they've been, like in this case, our brother Floyd, they will stand there and they'll be perplexed to do something about it, because over here is good now. The picture painted about you is awful, So yes, it can happen again. And make no mistake about it, we've been experiencing Holocaust in this country over 400 years. Well, it's not actually a country. And that's another subject. It's a corporation. And I know this for a fact. I used to work where all the contracts for the courts and everything. So it's very true. Everything is under contract. This land don't belong to them either. But anyways, that's something different there. But you must know this. And laws are nothing but interpretation. Laws can be broken, changed, etc. But we're so conditioned under this matrix that we're afraid to turn right or left or challenge anything. So for those who believe in the word, what does it say about if you try to save your life, you're going to lose your life? And that's because that's a fact. I don't care which way you look at it. I don't care how you cut it. You're going to lose your life or someone close to you under these conditions until we unite as brothers and sisters with a common goal and a plan to push forward. And it must include changes in our school systems. Get yourself, the church can be used to get itself organized and start classes there. I mean, there's so many ways to do it, and if you don't know how to do it, there's people out there can do it. There's people out there that can do social programs. But we have to start. This is actually a good time for us while this craziness is going on with this president. Anyways, there's so much we could be doing to make strides to change things. And also, I want to point out, July the 7th, we're asking everybody not to spend one red dollar. Do all your shopping before then, because this will send a message to these who they don't understand anything but money, their livelihood. So we need to start fucking with their money. You understand? That's like you. You can do whatever, but how many of us say, don't you fuck with my money, because I will cut you. Okay, so we have to take that mentality and understand we have economic power here. We had 3.9 trillion collectively minorities. Stop funding our own slavery. Okay? Common sense. Stop it. Stop taking your money and paying these fools, because that's all you're doing. That's why they're controlling everything. So July 7th, do not spend any money in their stores. Matter of fact, we need to compile lists of other merchants internationally in Africa. We need to start funding our money that way. You know, I was telling my son, we need to get property over there. You can have a dual citizenship. You don't have to live there. You know, some of us who people are originally from Jamaica, you know, we got to start doing something, not just bumping our gums, not just crying, not getting upset because of something occurred for today, and then it blows over in a few weeks, and then it's like hunky dory, nothing happened, because it's going to happen again, but it's going to be worse, because they have to go back to the drawing board, because they know this shit that they were trying to pull did not work. They were expecting all these white people and everybody else to stand up, Asian people. They didn't expect international responses from leaders and everything now. So now they looking at that. So they like, oh my God, these people are uniting together. We got to do something, because of their fear is we're going to do to them what they did to us. If now, okay, just one more thing. All the resources that all these European countries, including this one, rely on it comes out of Africa. Remember, Trump called it shithole country. Well, this is a shithole country. It doesn't have any resources here. That's why trade is so important. You know, if you look at the I want to say the pyramid that they created from top to bottom, how the control has to be at the top. Well, of course, you know, they also took that from us Egyptians, from the top, and everything's trickled down to the bottom. So how they have it set up, we're at the bottom. So now we got to flip this. We got to flip this script on these folks and show them who is who. Everything that they have, they stole it. The language itself is stolen. That's why they need us. That's why the restriction on us traveling to Africa now, because a lot of Africans, including Black people, celebrities, are going over there. You don't know it, but there's a lot of African Americans leaving. They can't lose us. We don't want to make them rich. And you don't have to leave here. No, we don't. But you damn well better take a stand if you want to stay. I personally would like to wake up and never see one again. You know, that's just me. I'm tired of looking at your fake ass. I'm tired of looking at them. I don't have nothing in common with them. I don't like drama. They don't bring peace. What the hell we need them around us for? Why? I done had it up to there's no peace with these people. I don't give a hell how many of us marry them, have babies with them, date them. The shit is all the same. Because when they're done with you, they're done with you. And you're used up. You ain't got nothing to offer nobody else. So it's about taking care of yourself. Taking care of your people. Loving ourselves and our people. Making this world a better place for our children. Our grandchildren. And all you grandparents, start standing up. You're not that damn old. Start standing up. You got breath in your body. You're living, you're breathing, your heart is beating. There's something you could be doing. Take your grandchildren under your wings and the neighbor child under your wing. Start educating. Just like they passed this shit. That's why you can't get rid of racism. Because it's passed down. It's passed down. And how I know this? I was looking at some rap station. And some white producer, record producer, or whatever they call them nowadays, he says, our rap music have to be solid, and you have to rap the way we say rap, or it's no deal. My mouth fell open because I'm like, excuse the hell out of me. That is not your music. That's not your music. It don't come from you. You don't know nothing about no rap. You copy. You don't have no soul. I know a lot of people get off and say that, oh gosh, I can't think of his name. That one white rapper. Oh, Lance, what's his name? You know, what's that?
Eminem.
Eminem, thank you. Damn, I should remember that. I like Eminem, Candy. But anyways, you know, oh man, he's all this and that. I'm like, he don't do shit for me. He don't do absolutely shit for me, never did. I don't feel any vibes from him. I don't. You know, so my thing is, you know, our young people are being taught, you know, reach, extend a branch out to these foods and this and that. We didn't teach them about the back when the Supremes, when I was growing up being a singer, Supremes, you know, was my icon and people like that. They weren't even putting their faces on their albums. So it's the same thing. And then you have big companies like BT, you know, making they little millions. And then what do? They sell us out. What a fool. Do you see these people ever selling out any damn thing? You don't. They building dynasties because they learned that from your ancestors. And you learn how to be a goddamn cave dweller. When all this used to belong to us, you're going to settle for some nuts. I like when Terrence Howard said at the red carpet event, he said, why should I settle for some nuggets? He said, when I can walk on water. They thought he was crazy. They were trying to make fun out of him, you know, but he discovered the truth. He discovered the truth that if you raise the vibration, there's nothing in the universe that you ask for you will not receive. We have to connect back to the divine, our creator, our mother earth. And that is the Trinity, and Ra is the sun, or Harura. We must connect back if we're going to survive this thing. So I know a lot of us don't know about what's happening now in the world, or in the universe right now. The Earth is off its axle, and the grids are dissipating, which is going to cause the sun rays to shine more stronger on the Earth, which that's what they're afraid of happening. That's why they're not able to have as many children. They're getting skin cancer. A lot of things are happening to them now. Our ancestors are getting rid of them. However, if they could take many of us with them, they will. And some of us, they want to make this new race. I don't know if you heard about that. That's why they marrying a lot of women. And I mean, not mixed women or light-skinned women. They're getting the darkest woman that they can get. I heard that they had took a bus load of Chinese women to Africa at some point, and so they can get pregnant. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Okay, so that's what they're doing, trying to make this different type of race of people that will be able to withstand the sun. You know, the magnetic energy that's taking place on the Earth. So, but we're going to, for the most part, be okay because we have melanin, according to scientists. It's not going to bother us as much, you know. But I'm pretty sure there's some steps that we're going to have to do to protect ourselves. I mean, but how are we going to know about all these events taking place? We got to pay attention. We got to pay attention. We got to get our heads out of the sky now. It's time to wake the hell up. You know, you young people, you know, you're going to be the next people to take over, the leaders of the world. You know, you're going to have children. You want to do better. Always strive to do better than your folks. It's not good enough just to just exist, okay, and coexist. You want to be better. You're a creator. Do better. Get all the knowledge that you can possibly get. And don't rely on one perspective. That's my advice. Never do that. Look around you. Go outside the box. You know, internationally, there's some brilliant people. Brilliant people. You know, I love the ambassador of Africa that's here. You know, so she's full of wisdom. You know, it's a different perspective. You know, I had a brother say to me that they want us to go to Africa, but they sold us to the white man. But look, I said, shut the hell up on that. Because what the hell happened here in the United States? We were here first. They done found heads all in South America. There was black people here way before. So what the hell happened? Well, I'll tell you what happened. Just like it happened over there. You start accepting stuff from them. You start accepting their religion, and you slowly became them. And then they divided them. The natives here. The native indigenous people here. And that's what they did everywhere they went. So how can you hold anybody else more responsible than yourself? You're still part of those people. They don't change a damn thing. Don't change a damn thing. You know, they'll have you afraid of Egyptians. So we got to come to a place where we understand the nature of the European. You know, they were marching with TT candles and saying, you will not, or TT torches, you will not replace us. No, sweetheart, it's you that always wanted to replace us. It's you. You want us to be like you were, and you take what we have. And that's where it's always been. We produce, you steal and take it. I'm not gonna say copy, it's theft. Straight up. That's what that is. Theft. So I thank you guys, because I can go on and on for another 2 or 3 or 4 hours, because that's the type of person I am. But I gotta go get dinner.
Well, I want to say thank you for feeding us a type of dinner that's very important for us to be fed. So you fed us this evening. And could you believe, please tell them again, and I said it in the beginning, you know, you sent a text and I responded, yes. and this just flowed. They're here at the beginning when, you know, how we explained everything, but this was not by chance. There's no way this could have been by chance. The timing, the feeling, how it flowed, and we just got on, and you gave us a beautiful monologue. And you know, like I say to other people that are here in our family, you stuck. You got to come back. I'll call you. I'll call you and make harassing phone calls. No, I won't do that. Please come back. You know how we talk. No, but seriously, whenever you want.
If you want to, I can close with what I text to you earlier.
Yes.
Okay. Here we go. And this goes back to the person asked the question, why white people hate us. My response to him was, we are descendants of rulers and creators, spiritual human beings. They're humankind. We are the tapestry of the earth, like the plants and the animals. Supreme melanated beings created a part of this planet. Our DNA shows that we have every element, and this is a fact, of the earth and the universe. Our people only possess that scientifically. So I believe at the root of it is jealousy. The main reason why white people really are intimidated by us, and hatred derives from that. The truth is, without us, there would be no Americas. There would be no anything. If it wasn't for our ancestors, and they know it, a world without us would be a world with void, because all creation comes from the motherland. We are the creators. However, that's why they seek to not eliminate us. They're not stupid, but they want to minimize our population, our portion, so they can continue controlling us as their slaves. And I'm just keeping it real, brothers and sisters. And I love you. And take care of yourselves, of each other, and work on uniting our family together again.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. After hearing those words or seeing those words on the text, I had to find out who this was. And that's why I had to get you on the show this morning. I mean, okay, I do the show, we do the shows, and so we don't really know all the people and family who are listening. So when I say I didn't know, I mean, we are connected and I know you already, but in a different connection, but consciously like that. So it was like, who is this person? Who writes like this? Oh, heck no. I gotta get on.
I took a chance. After I posted that to that young man, I said, let me send this to Lance, because I was trying to get on the computer and hook up with you, but it wouldn't happen. So I said, you know what? He says he answered his cell phone. So I said, I'm going to text it to him and send it to him. And sure enough, you hit me right back. And I was like, okay, well, this was meant to happen. This was meant to happen.
I love it. I love it.
I really enjoy myself. And yes, I would like to be a regular speaker because as I'm learning more, I am devoting my life to doing scholarly work and learning from my elders and what have you.
Yes.
You know, I want to trickle it down to our people, especially young people, because they're the essence of what we're going to become now. You know, so they're the face of tomorrow.
That's right.
And instead of you know how sometimes older women just put the younger women down, they're lost.
Right.
They're lost, and it's not their fault. It's not their fault.
So true.
You know, you know, someone dropped the ball, and we need to take ownership of that. Right. So just like you know, you can feel like, oh, the Africans did it to us. No. Let's stop that. And it's not going to get us anywhere. Well, what's going to get us somewhere is we start looking at everything comes full circle.
Right.
You know, even the children understand the Lion King. There's a circle of life. So now little children can understand that concept. You know, something has to die for something to live. Then we should know that by now.
That's right.
Yeah, we need to grow up. We need to grow up. Yeah.
Just like a good meal. Oh man.
Oh, good. Because I am a teacher and I like putting it out there.
Yes.
I like it.
Yes, definitely.
Yes.
And
food for the soul.
When we talk again, just let me know when we can come on. My time is open. My time is your time. You know, I'm a servant, so I have to heed the call. When the spirit hits you, I have to be there.
Thank you, brother, for being that servant.
Oh, I got the best position in the whole wide world.
I can tell.
I love it. Come on.
I love seeing you out there and about doing your thing. I hear sirens and you don't care. You just I'm like, go ahead. See, now that's a soldier right there. That's a soldier. You being smart about it, but you do what you got to do.
Yeah. You got to be shrewd and smart just so you can survive to another day. But you want to get out there and bring the real undeniably. That's what it's all about. So there's no doubt. There's a lot of posturers out here.
Well, we can't lose anymore.
No.
We just can't.
Right.
Yeah, we can't lose no more our men. No, we can't. We need those soldiers.
That's right.
So,
yes.
And tell your wife hello.
Yes, most definitely.
Thank you. I like to thank her for giving her time to let her man do all this. So, you know. Yes. Yeah, because you hear a lot of sisters like complaining. They have men out there doing it, but then they start complaining. You know, he's out here. He's doing this. I'm like, well, damn, did you know that before you did it? You know, do you need some cheese with that wine? You need to, pump your brakes, cut it out. You sound like a whining child.
Well, you know, I'll just say one thing. She met me doing this, not on YouTube, but just the social media, the writing and the artwork. And I said, listen, I do a lot of this stuff online. I know a lot of people. I get with a lot of people. You know, I put a lot of time into this. So this is what it is. It's evolved into YouTube, but I'm still planning on doing a lot of the writing and artwork. But I say, you know, this is what I do. And sometimes I'm up at night. Sometimes, you know, I'll spend 6, 7, 8 hours a day doing stuff. Of course, you know, I work a job and do those things and bring home bacon, but bring all the bacon home. And, you know, this is what I do. And every now and then I might need to get a different computer or some kind of program. And now, you know, with equipment, whatever, but this is what I do. And, you know, can you handle that? And it's like, no problem, because, you know, it's not like I'm gonna come staggering, come home staggering drunk, or, you know what I mean? I'm just, I'm here doing this. And this is what I do. That was many, many years ago. So, you know, this is what it is, you know?
You know, what I learned out of being married, and I mean, not a good marriage but I stayed almost 20 years because I got married very young. So, but I stayed, and I mainly stayed because I wanted to make sure my children knew who their father was. And two, I know I wasn't going to have no Tom, Dick, and Harry in front of my sons. It just wasn't going to go down like that.
Exactly.
So, so I said, I'll do what I need to do. So when he was acting a fool, I was in school. I was doing this. I was getting trained. I was doing my thing.
Right.
You know, and then when it came to that time, you know, like peace be out, and we friends right now today. We both we steward over our children and our grandchildren. Yes. He remarried, and that's all. Some people can be alone. Do your thing. You know what I mean? I personally, because the nature of what I like to do, and I need my freedom. A lot of men don't understand women like me, you know, that's down, that's a socialist, and I do my thing.
Right.
You know, and I don't want you, you know, I'm not a person I won't overshadow anybody else. Because guess what?
Right. You don't want
I
nobody
don't
else.
want to be overshadowed.
Exactly.
You know, so I do unto others I want done to me.
Right.
And I look at it this: a relationship is not about, because you get that a lot in a lot of religion, this false religion, about the woman needs to be submissive and all this nonsense. It's like, no, she was individual when she came to the relationship. You was individual. You work together and build together, but keep what makes you happy.
Exactly. Or you won't be
You
that
don't love
person.
that person. You're trying to change them.
You'll deflate them. Let them have their personal joy, whatever it is. And it is like for me, I like to draw. I like to ride a bicycle, and I love to. I mean, little maybe kiddie things like that. Sometimes lifting weights, or you know, I love good conversation. So you know, you do the things that bring you joy to the core, and you don't have to chop those things off as you get to an older age. You know, because those are the things that keep you young. You see,
right.
It's the joy of the process. It's if you like to do whatever it may be that you like. It doesn't. You don't have to be validated by somebody else, and nobody else should take that away from you. You know, you
should have your individuality, but at the same time, we're like a salad. We blend. You know, and that's it.
You have overlap.
That's it.
Right. But you know what?
But anyway,
I know you got a meal.
I better go.
Yeah, I know you got to eat. But you know, I hit that mute button and I was smacking over here, so I'm good with the food. So what I want to say is that I sense that we might be talking about relationships next time, but whatever you want to talk about, you know.
We can talk about that. We can go there. I mean, you sure can.
Oh, I can hang.
Yes.
But go get your food. Thank you so much, Queen Nefertiti, from me, from all of us in the family here, from the entire chat room, and from all of us who have yet to hear this, as they're going to hear it later on. It was a real gem. We appreciate you. Don't disappear from me. I'm going to come looking for you. You know what I mean? And anybody lay a hand on you, don't make me get my ski mask and pop that trunk, because we're going to look out for you. Okay?
All right now.
Have a good night.
Okay, you too, brother.
Definitely. All right?
Okay.
Take care.
All right.
All right.
You too.
So long.
So long.
All right. Wow. Wasn't that something? What can I say? That just dropped into our lap. Now let me give a call. Let's just do it right here on the line. Let me make sure that he's still up, and I'm just going to let him know that we're on the line. Maybe he's listening, but let me see. I may have to cut it short just in case we get to the voicemail and starts naming out numbers before we leave. I got a guarantee so that you all can come back if he comes on. Please pick up, brother. Please pick up, brother. Okay. 3 rings. It don't look good now. 4 rings. It don't look good now. Hope my brother didn't fall asleep.
The Google.
Okay. Let's try it again. Let me just throw him a text. If not, we will go directly into a late night with LANCESCURV, and we will. Okay, let me get into this here now. Let me see if he's still up. We'll leave it like this. You know, we'll put the fancy music on a little while, but you're hanging with me right now. Okay? Let me just ask him again. I'll put a question mark behind that, because he was supposed to come on earlier, and you know, like I said, we flowed, so a bird in the hand, right? That's the way it goes. I just want to, oh yes. Let me just make them, my brother, we're still live right now. I just wanted to hear your voice.
I'm good.
Okay.
I got sticky stuff on my hands. I'm trying to wash it off right now.
Okay. Well, everybody can hear you now. Say hi and let them know we're coming on.
Hey, I'll be on in a few minutes, everybody.
Brother Zamal.
Hello, Global Black Diaspora.
Whatever. Everything melanated, everything copper colored, everything original.
Yeah, GBF, whatever.
So what I'm going to do, I'm going to tease them with your banner that I made. And as I was speaking to Queen Nefertiti, which her flow was beautiful, and I'm going to have
to. Oh, man, it was nice. I heard so you were listening.
Okay, nice. Cool.
Real nice. Not all of it. Just a little bit.
So this is what the banner, I have the banner. I'm showing it to them to tease them and seduce them. But as I always do, as we can continue now, but I'm going to end this as a separate video. And then we're going to go and start this other one up. So Whenever you're ready, 5, 10, 15 minutes, whenever, we'll just chop it up. And I don't have a link yet because we haven't started it yet. I want to let everybody know, come back in 10, 15 minutes, whatever, and we'll be here. Okay. So that's what the banner's going to look like. And I'll put it back to the original banner again. And I'm ready to roll, brother. So you call me when you're ready. All right. I'm right here.
Yes, sir.
Position,
yes,
okay?
I will call you in a few minutes.
Okay,
no
cool. We're going to hit this music off and then take a couple of minutes and I'll be ready. All right.
Okay, man.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
You heard it for yourself, people. Dear family, come on back in about a few more minutes. Let's rock this music, take a break, and come on back. One more time. One more time. All right, we're going to wrap it down. We're going to wrap it down. We're going to wrap it down. Take a little break, 5 minutes, 7 minutes, 6 minutes, whatever it is, and come on back. We're going to let Brother Zamal rip it up. There's the banner and the title of the show, What Black Folks Need to Know About Islam. What Black folks need to know about Islam. You know Brother Zamal's teaching style, so you know that it's going to be awesome. He can get up there and say do, ra, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, and make you learn something from it. He can teach you on anything. So this is going to be deep. So we're going to sign off right now, and please come back. Peace.